Once upon a time, in a remote village called Ashala, where the red doves danced in the golden sunlight and the whispers of the wind carried the secrets of the ancestors, there lived a farmer called Amenze and his beautiful wife Uzamaka, whose hearts ached for the pitter-patter of the little feet and the laughter of a child. Amenze and his wife Uzamaka, known for their kindness and generosity, lived together in peace and harmony for years. But they were shunned by misfortune's hand, their home left barren of echoes of youth. Taunts and jeers followed them like shadowy spectres, haunting their every step. Amenze found himself silenced at meetings, his opinions deemed unworthy. After all, a man without sons shouldn't speak when men speak. They would always jest. Uzamaka, on the other hand, would meet insults and taunting remarks from her fellow women at meetings and sometimes the market. One fateful Afro-market day, Uzamaka had gone to the village market where epic scents of spices mingled with the vibrant colors of fabrics to sell some of her wares. Uzamaka often found solace amongst the market's bustle. But on this particular day, as she carefully arranged her goods, a sharp voice pierced the air. "Look at her, selling her goods for less than they are worth," sneered a market woman, her voice dripping with malice. "No wonder she has no child to care for. She can't even take care of her own pockets," the other woman chuckled cruelly, their laughter echoing through the market square. Uzamaka felt the heat of embarrassment rise in her cheeks as she lowered her gaze, her heart heavy with shame. Meanwhile, at the village meeting, Amenze stood amongst the gathered elders, his brow furrowed in thought as he listened to the discussions. When he attempted to voice his opinion on a matter concerning the planting season, a snort of derision cut through the air. "What does a man without sons know about planting?" dared one of the elders. His words laced with scorn. The others joined in, mocking and laughing at him. Amenze's cheeks burned with humiliation as he struggled to make himself heard above the mocking laughter. He felt the weight of their words like a physical blow, his pride wounded and his spirit shaken. It was in this moment of despair that the seed of desperation took root in their hearts, paving way for a fateful encounter that would change their lives forever. One hot afternoon, as Uzamaka made her way home from the market, her heart heavy with unshed tears, she stumbled upon a frail old woman struggling under the weight of a bundle of firewood. Despite her weariness, Uzamaka's compassionate nature stirred within her, and she rushed to the old woman's aid. With a grateful smile, the old woman revealed herself to be from the witch world, her eyes twinkling with an outwardly light. She spoke in a voice that seemed like echoes of distant lands and whispered secrets. "I have seen your sorrow, child," she said, her voice like the rustling of leaves in the wind. "I can help you conceive a child, but be warned, my gift comes with a price." Uzamaka listened as the old woman spoke of a golden egg, a gift from the witch world that would grant her deepest desire. The egg must be eaten at midnight under the full moon, its magic unlocking the door to motherhood. Despite the old woman's unsettling aura, Uzamaka, driven by her yearning for a child, accepted the gift. That night, under the glow of the full moon, she consumed the golden egg, its taste sweet and strange upon her tongue. Months passed, and to the couple's joy, Mrs. Amenze conceived a child. The village rejoiced at the news, and the taunts turned into cheers. The couple welcomed their daughter, whom they named Kambili, with hearts overflowing with joy and gratitude. But little did they know as the moon waxed and waned, that their joy would soon turn to despair, and their daughter would be the harbinger of darkness that would engulf their lives and the villager in a shroud of fear and despair. As Kambili grew from a helpless infant to an active toddler, Amenze and Uzamaka noticed peculiar behaviors that just set her apart from other children. At just a year old, Kambili would often be caught staring into space, her eyes fixated on something unseen, her lips moving in silent conversation. Sometimes she would burst into giggles or mumble incomprehensible words as if she was engaged in a lively chat with an invincible companion. Nights in Amenze's household were particularly unsettling. Amenze and his wife would wake up in the dead of the night to find their young daughter missing from her cot. Panicked, they would search the dimly lit hut only to find Kambili outside, wide awake and playing in the darkness, her laughter echoing eerily through the night. As Kambili grew into a young child, her behaviors took a darker turn. One day, while at school, she used a strange magic from her eyes to harm a child playing on a slide. The child, upon being struck by Kambili's gaze, suddenly went deaf, much to the shock of onlookers. This incident led to Kambili's suspension from school, and her parents were at a loss for what to do. In an attempt to discipline her, Uzamaka decided to flog her, hoping to instill some sense of remorse in her. However, to her dismay, Kambili met her punishment with an unsettling laughter and menacing stare, as if she took pleasure in her mother's attempt to discipline her. That night, as Uzamaka lay in bed, she was awakened by a malevolent presence that seemed to press down on her, suffocating her. She tried to open her eyes, but it felt as though an unseen dark force was holding her eyes shut. She could sense a dark aura enveloping her, and she felt sharp claws digging into her skin. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips, as if her mouth had been sealed shut. After what felt like an eternity, the presence lifted, and Uzamaka, shaken to her core, quickly got up from her bed. She rushed to Kambili's room, fearing the worst. To her horror, she found Kambili there, laughing and giggling hysterically, her voice echoing like a legion of voices. Terrified by what she experienced, Uzamaka quietly returned to her room, too scared to even close her eyes, knowing her daughter harbored a darkness that she could not comprehend. The village of Ashala was once a place of peace and harmony, but all that changed when Kambili came into the world. As she grew, so did her powers, and with each passing day, her malevolence knew no bounds. Kambili's eyes, once innocent and bright, now glowed into a sinister light that struck fear into the hearts of all who gazed upon her. She wielded powers with cruelty, striking down anyone who dared to defy her. One day, as Kambili walked through the village square, a group of girls passed by, their beauty radiant in the afternoon sun. Kambili's envy fled, and with a mere glance, she cursed them, transforming their once beautiful faces into twisted masks of ugliness and sickness. The old men of the village, captivated by Kambili's beauty, found themselves powerless to resist her charms. She turned them into her puppets, forcing them to dance and sing her praises, their minds lost to her dark influence. Women, once the pillars of the community, now bowed at Kambili's feet, kissing the ground she walked on. Those who dared to speak ill of her found themselves struck with madness, their minds shattered by her dark powers. The village lived in fear, their lives dictated by the whims of the evil witch who ruled over them. But whispers of rebellion began to spread, and soon the villagers knew they had to act. They sought out the great Dibia Udenka, a revered mystic known for his wisdom and knowledge of the supernatural. He listened to their plight and instructed them on how to tame Kambili's powers. Following the Dibia's instruction, the villagers prepared for the ritual that would end Kambili's reign of terror. They tied 5 white cowries to their doorposts and bathed with salt water. At the early hours of the morning, the first cock crew. They were warned not to look Kambili in the eyes on that fateful day. As the first rays of dawn broke, the villagers awaited the outcome of their efforts. Kambili, unaware of the danger that lurked around her, stepped out of her hut, her eyes gleaming with malice. But as she made her way through the village, her powers began to wane, the grip of her dark magic slipping away. Realizing that something was amiss, Kambili tried to summon her powers, but to no avail. She could feel the fear and confusion spreading through her, a stark contrast to the control she once wielded so effortlessly. Before she could comprehend what was going on, the frail old woman who had given her mother the golden egg appeared with a crooked, ancient-looking staff. She muttered inaudible words and touched Kambili's forehead with it. In an instant, Kambili was transformed back into the golden egg from which she came. Her evil essence contained once more. With an evil, unsettling grin, the old woman picked up the egg and started walking towards the darkness, leaving behind a village freed from the grip of terror, but forever scarred by the horrors they had endured.